Well, amidst the Russian onslaught in Ukraine, U.S. President Donald Trump and Russian President Vladimir Putin are set to hold a summit meeting. According to Fox News, Putin and Trump could meet as soon as next week, possibly on Monday. Two sources familiar with the negotiations told Fox News that Rome is one destination that has been discussed. The two sides had earlier spoken of Dubai as the venue. Since the beginning of Trump's second stint in power, the two leaders have held talks over the phone 6 times. In February, the duo held talks for over an hour and a half and discussed reaching a ceasefire in Ukraine in distant future. A month later, the two leaders spoke over the phone for almost 2 hours. During these talks, Russia agreed to halt attack on Ukrainian energy sites. Then, in May, Trump-Putin held talks for another 2 hours. This time, Putin agreed to engage with the Ukrainian side on drafting a memorandum of understanding regarding a potential future peace agreement. As tensions escalated between Iran and the US, the duo held talks again, this time a little over an hour, where Trump told Putin that he would appreciate Russian assistance on the question of Iranian nuclear program. And then 10 days later, both Putin and Trump held another phone call that lasted a little under an hour, and Moscow expressed its readiness to hold peace talks with Kyiv. A fortnight later, Trump-Putin held an hour-long phone call where Trump expressed his frustration over making no headway in talks with Russia, whereas Putin emphasized the need to resolve all differences by political and diplomatic means. Interestingly, on his campaign trail, Trump had claimed that he would end the war in Ukraine within 24 hours of returning to office. But since the start of his second term, Trump's deadline for Moscow to wrap up the war in Ukraine has changed frequently. On May 28th, Trump had announced a 2-week deadline for Putin to demonstrate that he actually wants to end the war. The ultimatum had come on the back of some of Russia's deadliest attacks on Ukraine and signaled Trump's growing frustration with Putin. Trump on July 14th had then announced a 50-day ultimatum for Russia to conclude the war in Ukraine or else face punishing sanctions. A fortnight later, Trump shortened the deadline to 10 to 12 days. And a day before the deadline ended, Kremlin announced that Putin would be meeting Trump. What happens during the upcoming summit and the meeting could ultimately decide the fate of the war in Ukraine. The question is, will Trump come up with a fresh deadline for Russia, or will the war stretch on? That only time will tell.